Now guys, for this short video, I will show you how una fit push on a project wey dey for una local computer to GitHub. Please, let's get started. Now the first way be say, let's assume say you don't get your project for your machine. You don't start your project already and you wan push am go GitHub. So I will just go ahead and create my project. I will use Next.js for this project, but this also applies to any project wey you wan work on. So I'll just go ahead and start my project now. So Next.js asks me wetin be the name of my project. I will just call am next form. Yes, I need TypeScript. I need S-links. I need Tailwind. Yes, I don't need this one. App router. Yes, I need app router. Super pack. Yes, I need a. Yes. So I will speed up this phase because this project will be about how to use Next.js, but now how to upload our folder to Git repo. Okay, our project done complete now. So the next thing we need to do now, just move into the next project. So I will just see it to my next one, which is my project. And let's start our project. Make we see if our project dey run well. Okay, so I go to localhost 300. I get my browser. So our project is open now. Good. So this is our project. Let's assume say now our form be this when we want push go GitHub. Everything is good and everything is ready. Now make we push this guy go GitHub. Now we don't confirm say our GitHub projects they work fine. Now make I check this status. So this one tell us nothing to commit. So which means our folder is already initialized as a Git repository. So now the next step now to go back to your github.com, then create a new repository and join them with the one with your local machine. Then push your project. Now make we go to our GitHub repository. Now our GitHub repository with this. Now click on the new button. Under the new button, make we provide the name of our project. Make we call them next JS form. So if you write description if there's a need, this now just YouTube demo video. But I beg you, provide a good description for your project. Now, by default, GitHub sets the repository to public, which means everybody if you get access to the repository. If you want to set your repository, change the visibility. If you set that to private, private means that only you will get access to your GitHub repository, and anybody who want to get access to this repository, you need to add the person manually. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we will set them as public. Now we get a README file where we will give better description or long description about your project. I will just turn this one on, but since I want push my local GitHub repository on my own machine to the GitHub repository on github.com, advisably, I would suggest to make you not turn this one on because we want empty folder. So this one will make it very easy for you to sync the two repository together. So I will just go ahead and click on create repository now. So you see, once we create our repository, we get empty repository. And that is why you see I not add my git ignore file and I not add my readme file because I want to get a clean, empty repository for my GitHub. So now, after we don't create our repository, we get this instruction here for GitHub. Create a new repository on the command line, or you can push an existing repository from the command line. So now this second instruction we want follow. Since we get the repository on our own computer already and want push them to the repository on GitHub, so we go use the second instruction. Now the next thing we need to do is, you see the instruction here, git remote add origin SSH this, then git branch main, then git push origin. Now maybe follow the same instruction when we get here. So I'll go back to my terminal for now. So we don't need my terminal now. The next thing we need to do now is just copy the instruction what we get for Git, but make sure I say they're inside the Git directory where my projects they will work for. Okay, so now the Git directory be this. So I will just copy the first line of command here and I will paste them here where it says git remote add origin. So I just click on enter. The next one I will do now is just come copy the next line that says git branch main. I click on enter. And the next one, I will just copy the third line here, where we git push, then the flag of you, the origin main. Then I click on enter. Now wait and see what happens. Excellent. Everything works out fine. So make we go back to my Git repository and refresh my Git repository to see what we get there. So now my Git repository be this. Now I'll just go ahead and refresh my Git repository. Perfect. This is now the first step to push your existing project for your local computer to your GitHub repository. Now, you could try the other step. This time, you don't get the application for your system, but you just want to start your development. This one might be the easiest and recommended option for you to use before you start any project. The first thing you need to do is you just go to your GitHub repo. I just go to my GitHub repo here. Then I will just go under my repositories where we get my repositories here. I click on my plus button. Then I'll just create the name of my GitHub repo called Next.js form 2. Then provide my description. This is this now another GitHub repo. So this time we will add all the files we will not add for the first repository. Now the first thing you need to know is your visibility. You want to make other people to see your folder, or you want to make other people to see your folder. If you want to make other people see your folder by default, you will leave them for public. But if you want to make only you see your folder by default, you will set them to private. But for the purpose of this demonstration, we will leave them as public. The next option we will get now to add the README file. The README file will provide long description or will give you opportunity to write long description about your code. And as something I will advise you, make you always the use so that when other developers see your code, they will understand what your code is all about. So I will just toggle the button we say on. Now the next file we need to add now the git ignore file. You get some specific file for your computer where you know one push come your GitHub repo. I'm going to give you an example of this file. They call one file the .env file. The .env file means the environment file, and this file contains some secrets, some kind of security keys where you know one push to your GitHub so that nobody will get access to them by any chance. So if you just add your GitHub ignore file. Now, one thing I go suggest is if you select the one where they're applicable to the language where you write your code. For my own case, I could just use Next.js. If you use JavaScript, if you just search for JavaScript, let's see. We have JavaScript here. We'll not get Java. Okay, we have Java here. We'll not get JavaScript, we get Java here. But I will just go ahead and select my next one, which is Next.js here. I'll just click on Next.js. Then license, I don't need any license for this demonstration, so I will just click on create repository. This, I don't create my repository, and I might readme file be this, and I might git ignore be this. So the next thing we need to do now is to go back to your computer and make sure say this GitHub remote branch they're available for your own local computer. Then if you start your project. So come to this section where it's a code, click on this section here, go to SSH. Please take note for this one. If you use SSH, GitHub require you make you create something they call your SSH key. If you never create your SSH key or you don't know how to create your SSH key, no worry. I will create another video where will help us know how to create our own SSH key and add them to GitHub. But for now, I already create my own, so I will just go ahead and click on the copy button. Now we will go back to our terminal. So now our terminal be this. I will just come out inside this directory where I did. Now make we assume say I never create any project before. So what I'm going to do, I just git clone. Then just paste the directory I copied from my GitHub and just click enter. Last. So I don't get my GitHub repository for it in my github.com. I don't put on my own local computer. So the next thing is if you just navigate inside, then sorry, this one are the first one we'll create. I'll just go inside next 2, 4, plus. So we get empty repository, and if you just go ahead and create your project. I'm not going to wait for this one to run finish, but now how you can push your existing folder for your own machine to your GitHub repository be this, and how you fix create a new repository for GitHub, then clone them to your machine before you start your project. Advisably, I would say make we always use the second approach. Always create your folder for your GitHub, set everything from your GitHub, then push and on your local machine, then do the configuration on your local machine, then carry and go back to GitHub. If you like this video, please subscribe to the video as I'm going to release more tips on how we can become a good developers. Thank you.